Becoming Wizard King is the greatest achievement for a mage. Dreaming and hoping to become the Wizard King is one thing, but actually doing that, you are preparing yourself to be the strongest because that's what it takes to become the Wizard King. That's why it makes the rivalries in Black Clover so special, because we see characters like Figoli and Ozel are trying to achieve that goal as well. But of course, the first thing that comes to mind when you think about a rivalry between two characters that's trying to become the Wizard King, it's Asta and Yuno. But what makes Asta and Yuno's rivalry to become Wizard King more unique than Figolion's and Ozel's situation is because one character is a royal of another nation, a prince of a kingdom without a king because the seat is vacant. Yuno can technically become a Wizard King now if he wants it, but the question is he ready? Just like if you're ready to subscribe to the channel with notification bells on and leave a like on this video. Now in chapter 331, we get the confirmation that Yuno's mother is alive. Lady Seal, when we first saw this, we all wonder why is she alive or how did she survive? Because Yuno's mother being alive is a big deal because now he can know the history of his family through and through. However, Noct knew about this situation about his mother being alive this entire time, given the fact that he was a spy in the Spade Kingdom and working with the Resistance Army. Now in the anime, we did see Dante use gravity magic on Yuno's parents, which we thought, but it was only on his father, because in the manga, we only saw the body of King Lois, which confirms that Yuno's father was the only one that died by Dante's hand, which means that there was a point in time when Lady Seal was captured, which makes sense because Dante is interested in women with unique magic, especially if they are arcane, just like he told Gray and Vanessa, come and be my women. And we know that the Grenberry family, they have unique magic types, with Lady Seal having moon magic, and Dante had to be interested in something like that. And that is definitely in Dante's personality to kill off Yuno's father but keep her alive. Which means that eventually Yuno's mother had to escape, which I believe that was from the Spade Resistance Army. And most likely from the help of Noct, knowing that he was infiltrating in their base and also finding out the secrets of the Tree of Clifthal. But currently right now, the Spade Kingdom is clear of all devils. Now the kingdom can now be restored. However, for that kingdom to be restored, they need a king, and we saw the Spade Resistance Army and Ralph asking Yuno, are you going to stay in the Spade? Which is very awkward for Yuno because even though he's from this nation, he did not grow up here, so he's not connected or bonded here in comparisons to the Clover Kingdom, which is fair because we saw this in the beginning of the time skip when Ralph showed Yuno his past, how the Dark Triad took over his family kingdom, how they killed his father, showing these tragic moments that led Yuno to being sent to Hodge Village. And even though Ralph showed Yuno everything that had happened, Yuno still responded in a way where his responsibilities are still tied to that of the Clover Kingdom, saying, even so, I am Yuno of the Clover Kingdom, almost like he felt no emotional tie to what happened in the Spade Kingdom. Like he tried to brush it off like the past did not matter, but we saw when he was fighting Xenon that the past did matter and his life did matter of what happened in the Spade Kingdom. Because the way he reacted after seeing Klaus and Latal and everyone from his Golden Dawn squad get defeated by Xenon and his Dark Disciples, it reminded Yuno of what was lost and every bad thing that happened in the Spade Kingdom from the memories he saw, which Ralph gave to him, which is one of the main reasons why Yuno lashed out against Xenon like that in a desperate way, trying to get rid of him. So this is one of the first signs and moments that Yuno showed that he has some sort of care and emotional tie to the Spade Kingdom. Another sign of this emotional connection, when he was fighting Xenon, when he got his second grimoire, his Spade Kingdom grimoire, he stated that he's going to save the kingdom. And to become the Wizard King, he has to take down Xenon. So Yuno clearly cares about the Spade Kingdom. However, Yuno cares more about the bond and the vow he made with Asta, and that is to become Wizard King. This vow that he made with Asta is so strong to the point where he refuses to die unless it's fulfilled. Even explaining to Xenon after defeating him before he died that he has not completed his vow yet. Yuno puts the vow that he made with Asta over everything, no matter what it is. We saw this in the recent chapter when they were pleading with Yuno, even his mother, to stay in the Spade Kingdom to help rebuild it and create a peaceful kingdom. But Yuno states that he cannot speak for the future because there's a vow that he must complete first. The man that I made a vow with that is also my family in the Clover Kingdom, my good friend, and also my rival. I'm going to become the Wizard King, flat out refuse to become the king of the Spade Kingdom currently right now. Because in Yuno's case, becoming king of a different nation is not as fulfilling to become the Wizard King because of that vow he made with Asta. Even though Yuno and Asta are not related by blood, but he sees Asta more as his family than anyone that is connected to him by blood. Asta's ambitions and dreams is what made Yuno as a child want to become the Wizard King because he was inspired by him. Yuno needs Asta by his side just as much as Asta needs Yuno by his side because they intertwine complement one another, they push each other. Without this vow, Asta and Yuno would have never tried to become the strongest throughout the series. And to be honest, we don't know exactly how the story will play out between Yuno and Asta becoming the Wizard King. We don't know who's going to become the Wizard King first, or one would never reach that status. However, we do know how to become the Wizard King, which we learned from Julius, and it's all about merit. Julius talked about that you have to complete achievements that make you the strongest. Producing high-class results proves you are worthy to become the Wizard King by devoting your time, by building up your reputation. And one thing I can definitely say is that Asta has a high-class reputation when it comes to the Clover Kingdom, because he had a huge Wizard King moment this arc by saving the entire kingdom from the ancient demon when the entire kingdom was trying to fight against this monster, but they lost. The downside to this, though, is that Asta is protecting the kingdom by the power of a devil. And we saw in this fight that all these citizens are still scared of Asta because he's using the power of a devil. So even though Asta's reputation is high, especially after that encounter, there are still pros and cons to his high-class reputation. But despite all of that, Asta was still in the position to save the entire Spade Kingdom when the twin devils were ready to nuke it. And these were back-to-back moments. Asta saved two kingdoms from devastation in the same arc, even slicing through the Lucifero worm devil. Even though Yuno did finish the job because the way that the worm devil was landing, it could have destroyed the entire kingdom. And even Yuno stopping Xenon was a big deal because he was a kingdom level threat. If he would have survived, he would have wrecked everything, and it would have prevented Morris from being defeated from the Black Bulls. So Yuno definitely has huge achievements in this arc when it comes to his reputation to become the Wizard King, also being one of the characters that was on the front lines to defeat Lucifero. Now, if Yuno was to one day become the Spade King and not the Wizard King, by default he would now have a connection to Beelzebub, and I will explain why. When Xenon was making his devil bargain contract with Beelzebub, he said that he wanted a devil heart in exchange. As the contract stipulates, the Spade Kingdom existence is able to continue, and for that Xenon will give up his entire soul, and Beelzebub agreed to this, even though he seemed like he hesitated for a second, but he agreed. By agreeing to this put Beelzebub in a unique particular position that's unique to every devil. Agreeing to that contract puts him in a role that he must continue to protect the Spade Kingdom if he wants Xenon's soul, which he agreed to. So now, if Beelzebub was ever to escape from the underworld or the gates open themselves and he comes out, he must make sure that the Spade Kingdom must continue to exist. And the number one priority for a kingdom to maintain and remain existing is the king. The king must live. So that means that Beelzebub is in a position that he must protect Yuno if he was to come out the underworld if something bad was to happen to the Spade Kingdom again. So in future events of the story, this puts Beelzebub as an ally to the Spade and an ally to Yuno as well. It doesn't mean that Yuno will now start to use the power of devils and Beelzebub. This just means that Beelzebub has the potential to work independently around the Spade Kingdom to protect Yuno. And to be fair, so far in the story, it seems like a lot of these devils are working independently. We saw that Adramelic was not listening and following the orders of Lucifero. However, it seems as though he is working with Lucius, who potentially is the devil host of Astaroth. And we saw at the end of chapter 331 that Lucius is classified as the ultimate Wizard King, which makes the race for Asta and Yuno to become Wizard King very interesting, because Lucius, who became this ultimate Wizard King, is connected to a devil, Astaroth. Asta is connected to the devil Liba, and then Yuno potentially connected to the devil Beelzebub. But this path for Yuno to become the Spade King or the Wizard King is a very tough one. But you guys comment your thoughts in the comment section. I do have a video coming up about Asta's path to become the strongest in order to become Wizard King as well. Until then, you guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves, stay blessed, and I'm out.